Good morning, class. As always, I wish that I was with you in person and I was able to see you guys, but I'm so glad that you guys are at home and you are safe and you are healthy. So keep washing your hands and keep enjoying this awesome opportunity to spend a lot of time with your family. All right, so we are going to continue on with elapsed time, but we're going to move on to a little bit more problem solving. This is 12.9. You can open up your math book to page 691. As always, you can pause it whenever you need. Okay, so we're going to look at this problem about Dora and her brother Kyle. So Dora and her brother Kyle, they were outside doing yard work and they worked for an hour and 35 minutes. And then they stopped for lunch at 1:20 p.m. So they want to know what time they started doing the yard work. Okay, so if we look at here, if we just go through these, it says I need to find the time that Dora and Kyle started doing yard work. Good. What information do I need to use? I need to use the elapsed time. That's the math vocabulary word, elapsed time, time that has already passed. And the time that they, stopped for lunch. How will I use this information? I can draw a timeline to help me count backwards and find the start time. Okay, so we need to find the start time. All right, so this is going to be standard for MD2. Use the 4 operations to solve word problems involving distances and intervals in time, liquid volumes, masses, and objects and money, including problems involving simple fractions or decimals and problems that require expressing measurements given in a larger unit in terms of a smaller unit. Okay, and then as well as part of this is represent measurement quantities using diagrams, such as number line diagrams that feature a measurement scale. Okay. So we look at this. They have this already on here, this number line, right? So if we were to make a number line, we could say, okay, well, I know that their end time was 1:20, and I need to move back an hour. Well, to go back an hour, I can count each tick mark as 5 minutes, okay? That seems like a pretty easy way. Instead of doing 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, right, all the way to 60, we can do 12 5-minute intervals. So we can count. We can say, let's see how they did. So they did 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay, so that's 1 hour. So then that means that at this point, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, so right here, this was 12:30. So then that's 12:20. Okay, exactly 1 hour from 1:20 is 12:20. Then from then on, we need to just do 35 minutes. So if we count each tick mark again, counting by 5 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 minutes, that's noon, 25, 30, 35, 11:45. So their start time was 11:45. So we solved this elapsed time problem by using this number line and going backwards with time, right? So Dora and her brother Kyle started doing yard work at, 11:45 a.m. Okay, so what if Dora and Kyle spent 50 minutes doing yard work and they stopped for lunch at 12:30? What time would they have started doing yard work? So again, you're going to use the same thing. If they stopped for lunch at 12:30 and they worked for 50 minutes, we're going to count back 50 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, so that means that would be just one more tick mark right here. That would be 11:40 a.m. All right, so go ahead and turn the page. Now that we did our little intro, let's have you guys try this problem. I'm going to read it to you. You guys can pause your screen. I want you to do it by yourself. Then you can come back on here and we'll do it together, okay? Ben started riding his bike at 10:05 a.m. He stopped 23 minutes later when his friend Robbie asked him to play kickball. At what time did Ben stop riding his bike? Okay, I want you guys to pause your screen right now and then we'll go over this when you are finished. Okay, so you guys should have done this problem. So really quickly reading the problem, what do I need to find? What are we going to find? Yeah, we need to find the time that Ben stopped riding his bike. What information do we need to use? Good, elapsed time and the time that he started riding his bike. So we need to use that elapsed time and the time that he started riding his bike. How will I use this information? Well, we can draw a timeline to help me count forward and find the end time. Okay, so we're going to use a number line basically. So solve the problem. They filled in our time already on here for you. They started at 10:05 and they ended at 10:30. So looking back at our problem, we know that he started riding his bike at 10:05. He stopped 23 minutes later. At what time did Ben stop riding his bike? So basically we can show, we can draw a timeline that shows the start time at 10:05 and then count forward 5 minutes at a time until we've counted to 20 minutes. Then we can count forward 3 more minutes, just 3 individual minutes, to find the time that is 23 minutes after 10:05. So if we were to do that, we could say, and right here, so they have this intervals as 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, right? So then this jump to this jump is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20. Okay, so after 20 minutes, we're at 10:25. So now we just need 3 more minutes because he rode for 23 minutes. So then 1, 2, 3. So right here, we can stop right there. And what time is that? Good. His end time was 10:28 a.m. So 23 minutes after 10:05 is 10:28. So Ben stopped riding his bike at 10:28 a.m. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here. Evelyn has dance class every Saturday. It lasts 1 hour and 15 minutes and is over at 12:45 p.m. At what time does Evelyn dance class begin? So again, I want you to work through these problems, pause my video, work through those, and then we'll go over it together and you can check your answers, okay? All right, so first, write the problem you need to solve. Well, what problem do we need to solve? Good, we need to know at what time does Evelyn's dance class begin. Okay, so then the next, it says draw a timeline to show the end time and the elapsed time. End time is the time that it ended. The elapsed time is the time that was passed. So, so let's start where we know that it lasts 1 hour and 15 minutes and it's over at 12:45. So we can come here and we can find 12:45. So 12, 12:05, 12:10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Okay, so right here, sorry guys, I wish I had a draw tool. Right here is 12:45 p.m. So we know that that's the end time. Okay, so then finally we need to find the start time. Okay, so we need to move forward an hour. So if I were to put a mark right here, I would need to move an hour. So I could say, okay, well this is 12:45, so I need to just find 1:45, or I could simply just count up 60 minutes, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I'm going to check. Yes, that is 11:45. 11:45, because if this was 11:50, 55, 12. Okay, so 11:45. We know that 11:45 is exactly 1 hour. So now we need to go another 15 minutes. So 5, 10, 15. So what time did her class start? Good, at 11:30. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our Think Smarter problems, and then I will let you guys know what your assignment is. So again, as always, pause the video, work through those problems. We will talk about them together. Okay, so right here it says, what if Evelyn's dance class started at 11 a.m. and lasted 1 hour and 25 minutes? At what time would her class end? Describe how this problem is different from the first problem. So as I was reading that, I went through and I did 1 hour and 25 minutes. So what time would that be? 12:25 p.m., right? Now, the way that this is different is this problem provides the start time and the elapsed time, while problem 1 provides the end time and the elapsed time. So it's just a matter of working forwards or working backwards. So that's always important to note to make sure you know how you're going to solve the problem, but they're both pretty similar. All right, Beth got on the bus at 8:06 a.m. 35 minutes later, she arrived at school. At what time did Beth arrive at school? So with this problem, you guys can solve it. I know you guys can probably solve it algebraically, but I want you to be able to make sure that you can draw a number line. So if you didn't already, I want you to pause the video and draw a number line with this problem to show that you can represent it. So at what time did Beth arrive at school? Good, at 8:41. So I wish that I could draw a number line on there and walk through that with you guys. If you guys have questions, let me know on that one. Okay, 4, Lyle went fishing for 1 hour and 30 minutes until he ran out of bait at 6:40 p.m. At what time did Lyle start fishing? So again, if you didn't already, make sure you draw a number line on there that you can represent that with. Because on your homework, you will need to draw number lines. All right, Lyle went fishing. So Lyle started fishing at 5:10 p.m. So if you didn't get that question right, let me know and we can go over it individually. Okay, so I want you guys to do page 694, 695, and 696 all together. By yourself, individually. Make sure you go through those problems. If you have questions, please be sure to let me know. Go ahead and just do it in your physical math book. Okay, guys? All right, have a good day. Bye.